Democrats are demanding answers to why President Trump fired another one of his administration's internal watchdogs. State Department Inspector General Steve Linick lost his job Friday, becoming the fifth oversight official to be removed since March. As Paula Reid reports, it was the subject of Linick's investigation, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who suggested his firing.
In a letter to the White House and State Department, Representatives Eliot Engel and Senator Robert Menendez wrote, "We unalterably oppose the politically motivated firing of inspectors general and the president's gutting of these critical positions." CBS News has learned the watchdog was looking into whether Secretary Pompeo misused a political appointee at the State Department to perform personal tasks for himself and his wife. A White House official tells CBS News Secretary Pompeo recommended the move and President Trump agreed. On Face the Nation Sunday, Speaker Nancy Pelosi suggested Linick's firing could be an illegal dismissal.
But the fact is, if it looks like it's in retaliation for something that the IG, the Inspector General, is doing, that could be unlawful.
Republican Senator Susan Collins tweeted, "The president has not provided the kind of justification for the removal of IG Linick required by this law." Linick is the fifth government watchdog President Trump has removed during the coronavirus pandemic.
And Paula Reid joins me now. Hi, Paula. Great to see you. Help us understand what exactly Linick was investigating that would cause Pompeo to suggest his removal.
Well, CBS News has learned that Linick was looking into whether Secretary of State Pompeo improperly used a political appointee to run personal errands for himself and his wife. Now, it's actually, we've learned, Pompeo who recommended to the White House that Linick be removed. And the concern is that this fits a pattern that we've seen in the Trump administration of the president trying to remove these internal watchdogs who do not protect him or his allies. Now, Congress does have an oversight role here, and so far, Congressional Democrats have demanded all records, all information connected to this removal because they want to assess whether this was indeed a retaliation, which is not a legal way to remove an inspector general.
And Paula, how is the White House reacting to this criticism over the move? How is it defending the firing?
Well, first of all, the White House has confirmed that, in fact, Secretary Pompeo recommended this. The president agreed. Earlier, the president's trade advisor, Peter Navarro, came out and he defended the president's ability to do this legally, but also the need to do this, saying that the president needs people who are in line with his agenda. But, Tanya, let's look at the role of an inspector general. These folks, they're internal watchdogs. Most of the agencies have them. They pretty much review, for the most part, whether taxpayer dollars are being properly spent or how they could be spent more effectively. They also sometimes review ethics complaints like this, or how, for example, the Justice Department, how a case could have been handled differently and more in line with that agency's protocols, or how the agency needs to change its protocol. These are political appointees, but traditionally their independence has been protected because people believe that their oversight role, for example, Senator Mitt Romney said this over the weekend, that it's really essential to democracy. So there are some concerns to see so many of these watchdogs being ousted in such a short amount of time.
And Paula, last night on 60 Minutes, Rick Bright, a former top vaccine expert turned government whistleblower, pointed the finger at Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar for the lack of urgency in responding to coronavirus. Here's what he told Norah O'Donnell about a meeting in late January. Let's listen.
I was the only person in the room, however, that said we're going to need vaccines and diagnostics and drugs. It's going to take a while and we need to get started.
You were the only one to raise that?
Yes.
In your complaint, you said that Secretary Azar was intent on downplaying this catastrophic threat. Why would he do that?
No, I don't know why he would do that.
So, Paula, Rick Bright also says he was pushed out of his job as retaliation for complaining about being ordered to drop everything and focus on the drug hydroxychloroquine. How is the Trump administration responding to that? And what do Bright's claims tell us about where the administration's focus has been during this outbreak?
Also, let's remind the audience that Bright was reassigned to a new role within government. And it's been interesting because the administration has not really addressed the substance of his claims, his allegations that the administration was slow to respond to the pandemic and mismanaged the response. Instead, they're focusing on personal attacks, or the president suggesting that on the one hand that this was a disgruntled employee, even though he did receive glowing performance reviews consistently. The president also said he's never met him, he doesn't know him. When the White House does address him specifically, they point to the fact that he currently still has a job in government. It pays almost $300,000 a year, and that while he's been testifying before Congress, while he's been pursuing this claim of retaliation, he has not been showing up for work. So it is notable, Tanya, that they have not really been able to refute the allegations he has made. Instead, they have focused on attacking him personally.
Interesting. All right. Well, Paula Reid at the White House, thank you so